welcome to RC Racing. The action this month will be non-stop. We have the large-scale off-road European Championships in Croatia, and then in Vegas, the cream of the RC touring car drivers are competing in the clubman's class. Well, just because they can. We'll take a look at HPI's E-Firestorm Flux, plus we'll give you the chance to win an LRP S10 Blast RC touring car. But first, let's go to the 2IC ahead of the 17.5 final for a word from the legend that is Scotty Ernst.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate it. It is going to be a very, very exciting round of finals here. If we look at the super stock division, it's all the big guns are running into super stock. They call it stock, but now it's 17.5. They're so fast. You got Hara, Hebert, Graverson, and Andy Moore, world champ. So it's going to be tough. But some of the locals are kind of U.S. drivers are running with the big guys like Brad Johnson. So it's going to be interesting to see if the U.S. drivers can hang with the big pros. But I got to give a tip of the hat. Hara won it last year, so you got to look at Hara for the favorite in this one.
So Atsushi Hara already with his car into the first corner and gets the advantage from pole position, as he should, of course, through that very, very technical infield section with Kevin Hebert right behind him and following in the multiple champions wheel tracks. You can see that even at this part of the race, the racing line delineated by the darker area, just like on an outside racetrack, the tyre material has been put down over the practice and qualifying. Oh, Hara super smooth onto that start-finish straight. And just beginning to make a little bit of a break for freedom. Steen Graverson still there in third position. Quick flash of him there as he tries to get on term with the leaders. It's that part there, just that little left-right flick where you just can't imagine how difficult that is to do every lap. Right here, look how close Hara was to the right-hand apex there. And he's really putting on a masterclass here with the French-Canadian Kevin Hebert in second place, who does manage just for a moment to get maybe within striking distance. And we've got traffic coming up here as well. And as with any form of motor racing, lap traffic is always a problem. And you might just be able to see a quick flash of orangey yellow ahead of the leaders. As Hara will be delighted that he's got, what, 6 or 7 cars lengths there. These machines looking very similar to the higher powered versions, but with exactly half the power, in fact. That doesn't necessarily translate into twice the lap time, of course. What it means is you've got to be super competitive into and through the corners on the power as quick as you can. This 17.5 class really, I think, bringing out the best of the drivers. Nice heads-up driving by the back marker there to allow the leader through. Now, will he do the same for Hebert in second? Well, he's held him up just a little bit there, in fact. But just going back to this category, I really think it does bring out the best in the drivers because you haven't got that extra power to pull you out of any problems. Ultimately, of course, they don't accelerate quite as quickly and they don't have the VMAX top speed, but the cornering speeds are, well, virtually no different, and that is held out by the fact that lap times, by no means double, but, you know, barely a second between their more powerful counterparts and this 17.5 category. That is Kevin Hebert in second position as he impressed us this week with his skills, and he is taking on some very, very decent drivers. Still Steen Graverson in third place, but he's got now that back marker car to go through. Now, where is Hara? Answer, 2 corners ahead now. And it's amazing, isn't it, just how Atsushi Hara grinds people down by just edging out maybe a fraction of a second each corner, but they add up, and now all of a sudden he's got the better part of us. Oh, a second lead, I was about to say. Beautiful work on the throttle there by Hebert to right his own car, using the throttle and the steering just to hook up the edges of the right rear tyre to put him back down onto 4 wheels. And that, in fact, has held him second position as Steen Graverson's eyes must have lit up there. Graverson still pushing very hard. And oh, he hits the inside corner, and in fact, the lapped car's gone back through there. Graverson buckles under pressure there is our leader. There's the second place car going out. The second place car's got some kind of electrical fire. Well, that is how hard they are wound up and how hard they are pushing. And that is Kevin E. Burr out of it as the leader is coming round. This is going to be a cakewalk now for Atsushi Hara as he comes across to start his final lap. The car behind him is already a lap back, and Atsushi Hara has dominated this final and wins. So disaster for Andy Moore and Brad Johnson going out very, very early, and Kevin E. Burr in sight of a second place surely with that electrical problem. So it's Martin Crisp coming through from 10th to 3rd, Steen Gravison in second, and Atsushi Hara who wins it.
You managed to get the TCX handling really well here, though.
Yes, actually, especially for 17.5, I think it's really, really great.
Well, congratulations to Hara, a world champion showing that club class racing is more competitive than ever. And not only in Vegas, but all over the world, like at the awesome LRP Masters Challenge event held this month in Germany. Full coverage is coming up in a future show, but to celebrate this awesome event, we're giving away an LRP S10 Blast TC.
Yes, you could win this fully functioning but easy to get started 1/10 touring car from LRP. It's fully adjustable and upgradable, meaning you could tweak your ride to get that competitive edge or just thrash it around the parking lot, so you can be as fun or competitive as you like. And as the multiple European champion Ronald Volker says, it's the perfect car to start your racing career. So to be in with a chance of winning this car, and for more details from LRP, you need to log on to rcracing.tv and click Win.
Day one of the large-scale off-road Euros in Velika Gorica brought rain and a massive effort from the host to keep the event on track. Day two, well, things were looking significantly better. So off to the semi-finals, and it's Dario Vaselli on pole. Looks peerless through qualifying and must be the favourite for the championship. And we see as they get away, the track is quite a bit slicker than it was yesterday. It's been sunny and warm and dry here. The moisture's come out of the circuit and the grip has got slipperier, but actually the track cars are not much slower. So Dario got off to an easy, comfortable lead. We thought, that's it, Dario, he's got it. He's going to win this first semi-final. But very soon he's being very closely hounded by Kay Coops, the number 4 car, the Dutch driver. And in fact, Kay got past after about 3 or 4 minutes and went on to win this heat by an absolute mile, which is completely against anything we'd seen so far. Anyway, Dario then came under increasing attack from Tim van der Lest. And so suddenly we saw Dario dropping back, and we were beginning to think, is he going to make the top 5? Is he going to qualify? And then we saw Ken Valkiers catch him up. And this was something we haven't seen the whole time. Ken made a bad start from second, and this battle went down the line, and luckily Dario managed to keep that second place, or third place overall, by just 200 the second time for a second semi-final. Now don't forget that it's the fastest time overall that gets in the semi-final, not where you finish in your particular position. And my prediction is getting even worse here, because this is Martin Lissau, the Dane, who I thought was going to win. He had terrible tyre problems. He's talking there to Stefano Gandhi from GRP. They couldn't get the grip right on this new surface, or revised surface by the day, and he has slipped back and finished 6th and didn't qualify, but qualifying with ease for the final. It was Alexander Schmidt. He was untouched, and in fact because of that he probably didn't push as hard as he could. And though he won this second semi-final, he ended up 5th overall to be 5th on the grid. And we'll take a look at that grid as John Hindhoff talks us through the final after the break. But before that, fly life with HPI's E-Firestorm Flux. Back to Croatia now for the large-scale off-road European Championship final. And with your race commentary, it's John Hindhoff.
So here's a look at the grid then. The Dutchman Keir Koops on the Elcon is on pole position. That's Tim van der Elst in second position. In third, from Croatia, Dario Vesely on the Contrast. Another Elcon driver, Ken Valkjes, in fourth position. Alexander Schmitz is the first of the German drivers. In sixth, Alex Luque Bravo. In seventh position, Luca Kuden. In eighth is Nick Visser. In ninth, Alex Mulder, another one of the Germans there. And at the back is Mario Di Bella. So waiting for the flag, it's lifted and we are racing. And from pole position, Keir Koops on the Elcon, getting away. Already under a little bit of pressure. Coming through from third position there, that's Dario Vesely. As Koops drifts through that hairpin, fantastic. So just look at how dry and cracked the surface is. There'll be big tyre wear on these machines, 14 kilograms with just the rear wheels being driven, of course. Vesely in second, third, Tim van der Elst. And, a little bit of a sideways movement. I think that was Ken Valkjes who was just getting sideways there for a moment. This is all about just getting the balance right between steering, braking and accelerating. A lot of drifting going on, as you can see, setting up into the corners here as the green buggy of the number 2 Elcon, that is Tim van der Elst, is battling for second place at the moment. Vesely, you've got to be so careful not to spin the wheels up. Throttle control absolutely crucial here.
Yeah, and the thing is, John, of course, it's the first time they've run the track like this. It started in absolute quagmire conditions. It's been drying out ever since. Now we have one of those sort of hard-baked surfaces that is probably more akin to an Indian cricket pitch.
And there, I thought there was going to be a change of position, but no. Oh, a little bit of a sideways slide again. But look at defensive driving right onto the inside there by the number 3 of Dario Vesely. Claimed that position early on.
And also the favourite coming into this. But in fairness, his semi-final, not what he's expecting. He's been fastest all through the damp qualifying, but as it's dried, he's had more trouble adjusting with his car than the Elcons we've seen elsewhere. Most of the cars here are Elcons, Dutch manufacturer, and they seem to work well as it's drying now, but it's all in a way about tyres, John, and whether they can get the tyres even last the half hour, because it's like running on sandpaper.
And look at how much they're getting sideways as well. It really is. You're saying sandpaper, I'm saying ice, but it's clearly they're coming together there between Vesely and van der Elst. As the leader's getting away now, Keir Koops has made his break for freedom there and done it very nicely. You can see almost, I mean, these are heavy machines, 14 kilograms. There's a lot of weight transfer. It's about getting progressively on the throttle. You can see as the guys are setting them up, I'm sure you could drive these for effect and do fantastic drift demonstrations, but clearly you'd completely and utterly pagger the tyres.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing is, of course, the people who watch a lot of RC racing used to the ridiculous direction change the four-wheel drive cars. This is all about momentum and the control of the momentum. They swing round. It's even, in many ways, a much more difficult skill because you're trying to balance about 3.5 horsepower, 50cc of two-stroke engine, which doesn't react instantly like a nitro engine, and only two-wheel drive on a slippery surface.
Massive skill, massive skill. And then there we go, just a small mistake there, perhaps slightly late on the braking. You could see the weight transfer on the front end there, and the 3 buggy, the Contrast of Dario, has gone wide again, and again he's having to defend, but he finally gives up that position and through back into second place goes Tim van der Elst. Started in position 2 now. He's got straight back through again. This is fantastic stuff, and these two are really at it hammer and tongs.
And you can see there where Tim got the drive down. Suddenly he got drive better than Dario and was able to pull through. Now whether he'll be able to stay ahead, I don't know, but it's an amazing effect there that they suddenly pick up some push and some drive.
Oh, and there's Dario and Tim coming together, and it appears that Tim has got the better of that. I do notice the other thing that I really notice about this, Nick, and I'm sure, that's a big mistake there. Took way too much speed, but he's got away with it. A lot of our viewers will have seen the whoops and the technical parts of the circuit before. These guys like to keep these buggies on the ground.
A lot of weight. There are some of the tracks at large scale which are big and bold, but this one is more typical where a few jumps are put in. I think we're up with, is it 4th and 5th here? It's Alexander Schmidt, the Germans, catching up Dario as well. Dario seems to be fading slightly at the moment. Still trying to push away from the yellow buggy of Alexander Schmidt there, the young German.
And behind them is Ken Valkiers in the bright orange buggy as well. So that's 3rd, 4th and 5th.
We've had a semi-final before this. Oh, and a big accident there by Alexander. He took that out bad. But these things are strong because there's so much momentum with 14 kilos whacking into the barriers. So that's let Dario off for a while to get away. But I think he looks like he's easy meat for these guys as the race is more on.
And there we can see just what we were talking about, getting them airborne and trying to control the buggies with all of that weight. That is still 3rd, 4th and 5th position in the same frame there on the infield section. And they're really four-wheel drifting these. We're so not used to seeing this when we have the four-wheel drives, where they just basically go where you point them, and making that sound much simpler than it is, of course. The skill levels for those are pretty high, and it's just a different type of skill. And I think there's a coming together there for 4th position. Yes, there is. And Schmidt has managed to recover slightly quicker than Ken Valkiers as they continue that battle on. Schmidt in the greeny yellow coloured car, and the bright orange, easy to spot for us commentators even at this distance. But you can see there the drift going in, the inside front wheel being the outside front wheel rather being unloaded as they go around the corners. And really it's like a cross between drifting and rally cars from the 1970. This is fantastic stuff.
Yeah, the other thing about these different Johns, these have four-wheel brakes, and they're actually disc brakes at the front. Some of them are operated by hydraulics and some by air, but they have proper discs with pads and everything, and they obviously brake bias, as you can probably tell, is rather important.
It is. Oh, and there's the mistake. Just two wheels, the two rear wheels on the dirt there, off the polished stuff by Schmidt, and that put him massively sideways. And you could see that was a great piece of driving to hold that back, balancing it on the throttle in the middle of the corner. But there goes through Ken Valkiers into what is 4th position, back to his grid start. As that battle, I don't think is anywhere near over at the moment. The leading trio have got away just a little bit as Valkiers on the Elcon, battling with the hornman of Alexander Schmidt, who just again dives up the inside, taking a little bit too much speed. It does look as, and that's our leader, Keir Coops. I was just about to say, it does look as if they are relatively stable with the longer wheelbase, that if you get them sideways, you can hold them there. But of course, we talked about this earlier on. It is important to get your tyre wear, and if anything now that looks like the leader's picking up a little bit of understeer rather than oversteer, and I wonder if he's just not getting the grip from the rear end to power him through the corners. You can see him putting more and more lurid angles of front steer into the buggy, but he's well out in front, and indeed beginning to put laps on the midfield now as he goes through. This has been in fact, just looking there, that's the number 5. That's Alexander Schmidt. So he's come through into that battle that we were watching a little bit earlier on in the race. So this is a phenomenal run by Keir Coops.
Yeah, he's come out really very, very quickly. He was very quick in the semi-final as well. And he seems to have a car that drives well. But even he said he'd done 20 minutes. He's no idea what happened in the last 10 minutes of this race, because he doesn't know. He had virtually no tyre grip last time after 20 minutes. And these tyres are taking a huge battering on this surface.
Just a small mistake there from the second place car, Tim van der Elst, the green Elcon.
Obviously concerned about cooling there, John.
Yes, or weight. You know, obviously save a few grams on a 14 kilogram car. It's, you know, I'm interested to see those rear spoilers as well. I would think the angles that they're set at, they would actually give some pressure onto the back wheels.
Oh, a lot, yeah.
Now, that is looking at the... Oh, my goodness me. And that is Dario Vaselli going over, and that's cost him a lot of time. That was the battle for 3rd position. And through has gone Ken Valkiers in that very distinctive bright orange car, not troubling the leader at the moment, who is, well, this is a masterclass, Nick, isn't it?
It is. He's looking a little bit edgy at the moment. I think the
well, just as Nick says that, and look at him spinning up the wheel, trying to get the car. Now, he's pretty much a lap up on everybody else. So those are midfield runners there. The yellow car was Luca Kuden, who was coming up to him, but wasn't able to get through. I don't think he's lost the lead there.
No, he had a reasonable lead over second place. I think he's lapped up to 3rd, John, but the other top 3 are on the same lap. But yeah, he was looking a little bit edgy. I think, you know, it's a case of trying to control the car, and it is a huge amount of change from the huge amount of grip these tyres have to begin with. As you can see now, he's really picking up, I think, some power oversteer.
Look at how the tyre sidewalls are beginning to flex and deform. They are bigger than what we normally see here at RC Racing, but they're a perfect example of just the whole tread sliding sideways and losing the rigidity of the sidewalls because they've been put under so much pressure throughout this half-hour-long race. And basically, and there's another mistake by the leader. He's having to really fight this, and basically now every single lap is a voyage of discovery.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think it's great when Matt gets those cameras. Oh, he's on again. He's lost. He really is suffering now with rear tyre degradation. Now he's going to have to change his style, or I think he's going to end up being caught and passed. Yeah,
he's going to. He's not getting the turn in either. Behind him there, that's the number 5 of Alexander Schmidt, running in 5th position at the moment, but still effectively a lap back. But the leader must now just basically cool it down a little bit. He's gone off the circuit completely. Now, there is the second place car going through. So that is the battle for the lead. The green car in second place, Tim van der Elst, who's looked after his tyres better, is now in with a real shout. It looked like this was going to be a complete benefit for Kay Coops. And now he's got it all to play for. Let's have a look at that again. He bounces off the circuit. There is Alexander Schmidt spinning. And here the green car gets into the lead, at least momentarily, right across the saucer for the leader. A nice use of the back marker there. Now, has Kay Coops learned anything here, Nick? Because it is now down to the final knockings, and he's got real pressure, and he can't really be even looking at that. He's going to have to pick, everybody's in the same boat, he's going to have to pick his way through other people who are having trouble, and putting his back wheels on the dirt there every lap now, that's not helping him.
No, but he seems to have got his head back together again, and he had a good lap there. He just managed to put enough drive. He seems to have got 3 or 4 seconds lead back over the second place, but certainly he was very lucky that Alexander Schmidt was there because he effectively kept him in the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. Eased his closest competitor, Tim van der Elst, into the 5th place car. Now that's much better. Look how neat and tidy that is. Do you know what this is? When you hear people saying, let the track come to you, he's actually slowed down his inputs. He's actually slowed down and not using as much power. And it's much neater and tidier. Look how close to the apices of the corner he is. And he's much tidier, not trying to get the throttle and the power on until he's pointing in the right direction.
Yeah, I think this is going to rescue him. He's right near the end now. If he can avoid any silly little mistakes, I think he's going to get this car home now, which is a surprise because earlier we thought he was going to lose it completely. But I think this is looking like a bit of, and it is a result there.
Fantastically done in the last third of that race. Kay Coops wins it then, and that was not as easy as perhaps it looked earlier on. Well, outside the top 3, spare a thought for Dario Vaselli. His contrast not really working once the course dried out. Well done to Alex Mulder and Nick Visser, moving up to 7th and 6th position. The top 3, Ken Valkiers up from 4th to 3rd. Tim van der Rijs holding on to his 2nd place qualifying position and making it a 1-2-3 for Elcon. Kay Coops, the European champion, stands on the top step of the podium, and the podium press conference is now with Nick.
Kay, coming to you. First of all, congratulations, and more importantly, where did it all come from? Your qualifying wasn't very much, and suddenly, semi-final, what happened?
I don't know. The car was just the same, but yeah, only that when we know when it's dry, we have more grip than the others. So yeah.
Well, a great result for Elcon and Holland there. Now, don't forget, if you want to be in the chance of winning, go to www.rcracing.tv and click on Win!